When Barack Obama speaks, people listen. Whether he's delivering a State of the Union address, giving a speech on racial justice, or offering fatherly wisdom on a podcast, there's a calm authority in his voice that commands attention. But in a recent sit-down interview, one far more personal than presidential, Obama opened up about something he rarely discusses in public: the turbulent tides that once rocked his marriage to Michelle Obama. "It's easy to assume we had a perfect love story," Barack began, sitting comfortably in a worn leather chair, sunlight filtering in behind him. "But the truth is, there was a deep deficit in our relationship at one point, something that nearly broke us. A love forged in fire." Barack and Michelle's love story has always captured the public's imagination. Two brilliant minds meeting at a Chicago law firm, navigating racial barriers, political ambition, and parenthood, all while remaining a power couple. But as Obama revealed, it wasn't all smooth sailing. "During my time in the Senate, and then the presidency, our marriage suffered," he confessed. "I was chasing purpose, chasing legacy, and Michelle was left to carry a load I didn't fully understand until much later." For years, Barack was consumed by the mission. Long days in Washington, endless speeches, campaigns, international summits. He was often away from home. Meanwhile, Michelle, despite her own towering intellect and career aspirations, played the role of the rock, raising their daughters, managing the household, and suppressing her own ambitions. "That's where the deficit began," Obama said, his voice low. "I was depositing into my career account, into America's future. But I was withdrawing from my marriage account every single day." Behind the White House curtains, public appearances showed a smiling, loving couple. Behind the scenes, however, there was tension. "Please subscribe to my YouTube channel." "There were nights we didn't speak," he admitted. "Nights when she'd go to bed before I came home. Mornings where she'd already left by the time I woke." The emotional distance was real. And the worst part was, we didn't talk about it. We just kept moving. He describes Michelle's silent endurance with both admiration and regret. "She was brilliant at masking it. The public saw elegance and grace. I saw a woman exhausted, stretched thin, and emotionally depleted." Michelle's own memoir, Becoming, hinted at these difficulties, but Barack's reflection went deeper, more vulnerable. "There was one evening, late in the first term, when she looked at me across the kitchen and said, 'I feel like I'm disappearing.' That hit me hard, because I realized she wasn't angry, she was fading." The turning point. Barack attributes the turning point not to therapy or a single grand gesture, but to what he calls the long walk back. "I had to earn her again, not with flowers or apologies, but with presence, with attention." He began cutting unnecessary meetings, setting boundaries even as president. He made dinner at home more regular. He left post-it notes for her in the mornings. Simple messages like, "You're seen," or "I'm grateful." We didn't have a second honeymoon. We had real conversations, sometimes painful ones. And he listened. Listening sounds simple, but it's the hardest thing for someone like me, used to speaking, persuading. I had to shut up and hear her heart. Michelle responded cautiously at first, he recalls. "She didn't jump back into my arms. She watched, she waited, and when she saw consistency, she softened." They rebuilt, slowly, intentionally. By the time they left the White House, their bond was stronger, more mature. The myth of effortless love. Barack's story challenges the fantasy of effortless love. "I think people want to believe in soulmates," he said, "but what we had was soul work. There's no fairy tale, just two people deciding every day to keep choosing each other." "Please subscribe to my YouTube channel." He paused, then added with a half smile, even when that choice was hard. The deep deficit wasn't about infidelity or betrayal. It was about neglect, about a relationship malnourished by ambition, suffocated by silence. "If your marriage were a bank account," he explained, "you can't keep withdrawing love, patience, time, and expect it to stay solvent. You have to invest." Barack believes every marriage has seasons: springtimes of passion, summers of joy, autumns of routine, and winters of struggle. "Our winter was long," he said, "but we learned to build a fire." Parenting through the storm. Part of their motivation came from their daughters, Nalia and Sasha. They didn't see everything, but kids know when love is thin in the air, he said. We wanted them to believe in love, not because we told them, but because they felt it between us. Barack recalls moments when Malia would leave notes for her mom, reminding her to smile, or when Sasha asked, "Are you and Daddy okay?" Those were wake-up calls, he said. Children are mirrors. Through it all, Michelle never lost her role as a protector of their daughter's emotional world. She never let her pain spill onto them. That's a kind of strength I'll always admire. A new chapter. Now, years into their post-presidency life, the Obamas are thriving, not just as global icons, but as a couple. "We dance more now," Barack shared, laughing. Michelle puts on her 90s playlist, and we just let go. It's our therapy. They travel, write, speak, and dream together. But most importantly, they hold space for each other. "We don't take us for granted anymore," he said. "We treat our marriage like a garden. We water it. We weed it. And sometimes we just sit in it and enjoy the view." Legacy beyond politics. In sharing this chapter of his life, Barack isn't seeking sympathy. He's offering a blueprint. "We live in a time when marriages fall apart quickly," he said. "Sometimes that's necessary, but other times, people just stop showing up." He hopes his story inspires others to do the work, to have the hard talks, to seek help, to be vulnerable. "I'm proud of my presidency, but I'm more proud of being a husband who fought for his marriage," Michelle speaks. Though Barack took center stage in this interview, Michelle has also spoken about the challenges of their union in her public talks. "There were years I couldn't stand him," she once joked at a book event. "But that's marriage. You stay, you grow, you figure it out." Barack smiled when reminded of that quote. "Yeah, she's real. That's what I love about her." He still calls her my rock, but now, he also calls her his mirror. She reflects back who I am, the good, the bad, and I do the same for her. That's partnership. Conclusion. The beauty of the struggle. In the end, the deep deficit Barack Obama spoke of wasn't a failure. It was a crucible, a place where two people were tested, reshaped, and reborn. Marriage, he reminds us, isn't about perfection. It's about perseverance. And as they sit together now, hands intertwined, eyes full of shared history, the former president and first lady stand not just as symbols of hope, but as proof that love, real love, isn't effortless. It's earned. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.